Good
Very good
morning.
morning, Professor.
Good
Could you
morning,
hear me?
Good morning, Professor. How are you, sir?
Yeah, good, good, doing good. So, how
Uh,
about you?
Here also we are fine, sir.
Good.
So thank you very much for being a part of this refresher program again. Uh,
It's my pleasure, Professor.
okay. So we'll start in a couple of minutes, sir. Just another 2 minutes, you please wait.
Sure, sure.
Thank you. Dear participants, now we'll start the session, day 5 of session 1 by Professor R. Sektivel from VIT Vellore, Vellore Institute of Technology, Vellore. Sir is going to speak on discussion on NBA SAR Filling criteria 5 to 10. So, in fact, this is important thing. What kind of care we have to take while filling the SAR, what kind of format, and how it has been designed and developed. So, Dr. R. Shaktivel is going to throw light on that. So, in fact, I'd like to express my sincere thanks because it is not the first time in the phase one he has delivered a talk on NAC accreditation. Uh, Dr. R. Shaktivel sir, thank you very much for being again part of this refresher program.
Thank you, sir. It's my pleasure being with the learned crowd. It's my pleasure to be here at this morning.
Okay, thank you, sir. So
Thank
now
you.
uh, I request Chanakka madam to introduce Dr. R. Shaktivel to our participants. Madam, please.
Good morning, sir. It's my pleasure to introduce today's resource person, Dr. R. Shaktivel. Sir completed PhD in the year 2009 to 2014 in School of Electronics Engineering, VIT University, and completed Master of Engineering in the year 2002 to 2004 in GCT, Coimbatore Anna University, and Bachelor of Engineering in the year 1996 to 2000 in Electrical and Electronics Engineering. About in assessment and accreditation process, Sir trained ISO auditor, internal auditor in IQAC at VIT, and ABET accreditation coordinator as a division leader in 2012. About book published, Sir published several books like Basic Electrical Engineering, VLSI Design, Digital IC Design with timing issues, and so on. About honors and awards, Sir is a co-author for developing the technology vision 2035 from DST India, won second prize from medical hackathon conducted in VIT in association with Harvard University for the topic development of nano electronic wireless belt, and interviewed as the featured person by Texas Instruments in the newsletter November 2011, and runner-up for the Cadence Design Contest 2011 on the topic an effective VLSI architecture for variable threshold simple edge preserved denoising technique algorithm with improved signal to noise ratio, and a Sir received third prize in Wipro paper presentation in year 2009 and fellowship award for VLSI design 2008 conference held in Hyderabad, and received the research award from VIT University for the last 7 years. Sir conducted around 45 workshops in the area of VLSI in different colleges in South India and delivered more than 25 invited talks all over South India. And Sir is a reviewer for Elsewhere Microelectronics Journal, reviewer for IEEE Transaction on Circuits and System 2, and also the reviewer of IEEE. About funded project experience, Sir is a COPI sponsored by Government of India from the year 2012 to date, and also by Vellore Institute of Technology in the School of Electronics Engineering, Micro and Nano Electronics. About industry collaboration, Sir created a lab called Texas Instruments Analog System Design Lab, supported by Texas Instruments Bangalore, and Cadence Analog System Design Lab supported by Cadence Bangalore, and FPGA bar SOPC Lab supported by Altera Bangalore. And Sir published nearly 60 research papers in preferred reviewed journal and international conference. So I'll welcome you, sir, for this today's workshop.
Thank you. Thank you. It's my pleasure being you here. So can we start? Do I have can I share my presentation?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Is it visible, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is visible, clearly visible and audible.
Thank you. Thank you. I think maybe I will switch off my video alone. Very good morning. Good morning, all professors, deans, learned colleagues, principal from different institutions, people who have joined, and the teaching faculty who have been joined through this online forum. It's really a pleasure joining with all of you to share a couple of thoughts on NBA and how to fill this SAR from criterion 5 to 10. So that's our topic of discussion. So even I have planned my discussion something like for the next 30 to 40 minutes. We will just go ahead with uh, the basics about certain idea about NBA. I believe most of you may be already acquainted with. Just I would like to refresh certain things and quickly move on with the SAR filling from C5 to C10. What does it expect? What could be the mark allegation? What are the expectation of the NBA committee, and how to document those and put forth before the committee? That's what our discussion is going to be. Yes. So basically, this NBA, as you would have come across different accreditation committees, NBA again is being established by AICTE, All India Council for Technical Education, under the section 10U. And by the way, most of the slides have been taken from this NBA portal, and some from the different websites, and few are from my own. Right. So it has been initiated in the year 1994, and the objective of this is to provide or to access the quality and the competence of the program being offered. The first thing about this NBA, so if you look NAC, it's for an institution level accreditation, whereas NBA accreditation is mainly with the program. It doesn't go with any course or with respect to institution. Say I have an engineering program with the ECE or EEE, so that particular program is being accredited by this National Board of Accreditation, what you call it as an NBA. So by the way, this accreditation process starts from diploma level to the postgraduate level for any program that is being offered by an institution. So the institution can be in the area of engineering and technology, it could be in the management, or it could be with respect to pharmacy, architecture, and any relevant discipline which has been approved by AICTE. So basically, NBA accreditates a program rather than an institution, and it span varies from diploma level to the postgraduate level. So later on, this NBA again became an independent and autonomous body by the year 2010. So the objective is to ensure the assurance of the quality in mostly with respect to technical education that is being offered all over India. So keeping this in mind, so it has been made fully independent and autonomous, and certain privileges has been offered to it, and later on even it become financially independent from the AICTE by the year 2013. So it becomes something like autonomous body which has the whole right of validating and evaluating and then accrediting a course or a program, not a course, or it is a program of that particular institution. And it has come up with certain well laid down rules, norms, and rubrics by which it is without any ambiguity, so as to be much more transparent, where a particular institution itself can come across what should be the score gained and what should be the accreditation that the NBA can offer to that particular institution has been laid out well transparently. So those things has been made very clear, and the norms has been laid out very transparent. And so this involves like this NBA accreditation process involves verification of process that is being followed. Not it's not like it doesn't provide any standard process that's left to an institution. The institution can design its own process. Only thing is it needs to have the checks and balances by which a rational thinking about how the program objectives and the program outcomes has been validated with reasonable accountability, and how it is being met so as to enrich the quality of the particular program. That's the whole idea behind that. So it speaks about the organization, governance, infrastructures that are being provided, teaching learning process, the quality of teaching learning processes, then the curriculum design, reviews, support services which is being offered to the learners. All this comes into picture. So when we say NBA auditing, it's more or less concentrating on this broad domain. Later on, fine-tuning with different criteria, which has been broken down to small criterion level, which are being validated very specifically with well laid down norms. Why this? I mean, what is this accreditation? Basically, you would have come across different types of accreditation offered by different independent or autonomous body, so as to uphold the quality of education countrywide. So basically, that is what it has been said here. The formal recognition of the quality of education by an external agencies or external independent agency through a well-defined criteria that makes us to introspect our strength, weakness. It's more like a SWOT analysis where the institution can focus on, rather than it's not pinpointing out anything what is not available. It's to find out where is the scope, where is the challenges, where can the institution focus on, where is the gap that exists in the system, analyzing the system, then how to make that system or the process to be much more efficient enough. That's the whole idea about this accreditation. Right. So it's to ensure the quality or assure the quality of that particular organization or an institution, critically reviewing some of the process that is being carried out by that institution, and that makes to prescribe a standard or fix a standard that need to be a benchmark for remaining institution to follow up that, or these type of standards which has been prescribed basically varies from time to time, so as program to program. So the set of criteria which we keep it for a particular program may not be suiting for the other programs. So the criteria which has been kept sometime, say for engineering we have 10 criteria, whereas if we go for pharmacy it's 9 criteria. This criteria laid down varies based upon the program too. And why it is so? Why do we? I mean, what is this recognition? It's a kind of recognition that has been given to that particular program offered by that particular institution. So some institution you could see it's very good in offering mechanical, some is good in offering computer science, things like that. So more of the program based rather than in institution based. Why do we require this accreditation? Basically to have a recognition in excellence, right? Basically to have a recognition of that particular institution with respect to that course, and it's just a verification of the quality of the teaching learning process that is being offered, or in the other way, in order to promote the excellence in the technical education. The one more important thing is, it's not like say we go for an NBA accreditation, and once we get the NBA accreditation, there ends the process. Rather, it is a continuous improvement process where the NBA accreditation also looks for that. Means, say I have laid down certain process in order to validate, examine a particular criterion. As after getting this NBA accreditation, I still keep on improvising this process. This quality enrichment is a continuous process. It's not a single time process where you do that and end it up. So it's like a monitoring, maintaining, and enhancing the quality, not just stopping the no the teaching learning or the quality of that program for a single time. It's not so. So it is a continuous which is being offered and maintained and enriched in order to ensure that the quality has been improved day by day. Who all can accredit? Yes, as we discussed earlier, it's basically for a program of an engineering, or it could be a pharmacy, all this. But you cannot go and accreditate as an individual or for a course or for an institution. That's not being offered. It's basically for a program. What is the impact of accreditation? Yes, there are some few ideas like quality improvement initiatives. Student enrollment definitely increases. So now the people are much more aware. Before joining any of the institution, the students have a very good idea about what are the accreditation that particular institution possesses, what is their placement records. In fact, they even get the complete SAR SAR from the online. So after going through that, they come to understand what exactly the facilities provided, supports being provided, what is the faculty strength available in that particular institution, what are the research facilities available. The students come to know. So thereby the student enrollment get increases. So necessary funding, in order to get funding from the funding agencies, this NBA accreditation becomes essential. Not essential, it's again an uplifting criterion to get the fund. And enhancing this employability of the graduates. The graduates who get graduated out of this particular program, make sure that he is coming out with some set of standards which is being prescribed by that particular program. And in fact, an institution which has been NBA accredited for that particular program, try to keep up whether the program objectives, program outcomes are being met. If not, what essential steps has been taken by that institution in order to make sure, or in order to keep hold of that the requirement which is being needed by that particular program, that is program output, program outcomes. How do we validate that? All this make the students to be more employable. Then of course it also helps for the students who move for the higher studies, either abroad for other universities. This also helps them, then motivates the faculty to work for an institution which is a pride, like this has been accredited with NBA with the highest grade. So all this are the advantages or the impact. And above all, it also indirectly or directly helps the quality or ensuring the high quality of the technical manpower and to the society. Yes, that's what we have been looking into. And yes, here we will see the outcome based accreditation criteria. So basically, it's something like this. The NBA also looks for outcome based accreditation criteria. What do that mean is, like, people look for, or the NBA committee look for, see, you are providing a program. What is that program objectives, PEO? What is the requirement of that, or what essentially this program aim for? Then program outcomes. This is about, after completing this program, what are the skill sets, behaviors, attitudes that has been acquired by that candidate after completion of that particular program. So all this has been validated, or it has been well quantified by certain metrics. This metrics we call that as criteria. So as I said, an engineering has a 10 criteria under which the skill set obtained by that individuals, the attitudes that has been obtained by that individuals, the behavior has been measured using those metrics, and that has been used for evaluation of this NBA. So that's what it is looking for. It looks for achieving of the desirable outcomes, what that program initiated, or that has outlined in its POs. And the faculty, among the faculty community, it's an outcome based learning. Means I am well aware of what the students should be knowing after I complete this portion, or I complete this course. If I complete this course, the student should have the ability to analyze this, to design this, to validate this. So such type of awareness will be available among the teaching community also. It makes still more the education to be better understanding. So it believes that the educational quality must be measured by outcome rather than inputs. So always the quality of the education is being measured by the outcome, not by the input. Rather than whatever may be the input that has been given to the candidates, the metrics for validation is only the outcome of that course. After he completes this course, what is he capable of? Whether he is capable of designing this electrical circuit, whether he is capable of coming up with a solution for this problem, that matters a lot rather than what input you give over here. So always the outcome measurement is being done with the output, or the skill sets that has been attained by the particular candidate. And that's all. Not only that, the process, as I said, say for example, every institution may follow a different process for admitting a candidates. Say admitting a student for a BTech engineering, ECE, or a computer science. Every institution or university or a college may have certain process. It may go on with the JEE mark. It may go on with some sort of examination conducted by that university. It may go on with the 12th grade marks, or any sort of entrance exams which is being used as a metric, or a yardstick to admit that student. And then they validate that process, whether this process or the mechanism by which we admit really brings in the quality student inside our campus. So this process is basically defined by that institution. NBA doesn't give any no process specification. So it's up to that institution can follow that process and make sure that is defending the quality. That's what. So what's the objective? Basically to assess, accreditate the technical education programs and in order to bring excellence, relevance to the market need, what exactly the demand that is being offered by the market, are we trying to provide the ready-made students ready to fit in the industry? That set of students is being developed by the institution, and it also makes participation by all stakeholders. Uh, Basically, the stakeholders like faculty, student, management, parents, alumni, all this, they are the stakeholders of this institution. Everyone has their own contribution for the development of the process and the enrichment of the quality. So it always try to see what is the contribution made by the different stakeholders, whether it has been brought with the consents of all these people. And finally, to evolve a standard and the parameter for assessment and for accreditation. All these are to be. Next, Washington Accord. This is basically an international and multilateral agreement. So, and again, a body which is responsible for accrediting the undergraduate engineering programs, Washington Accord. So, NBA became the provisional member in 2007, and later on it became a permanent signatory member in the year 2014. So any accreditation which has been given by NAC is being given by Washington Accord, particularly this NBA. So this gives you an entry, or it checks for the academic requirement for entry of practicing of engineers in that particular jurisdictions, right? So he is well equipped, is well learned to practice this engineering in that particular field. So Washington Accord is for engineering undergraduate courses. So that's being done. Okay. So how is this NBA providing accreditation? Basically, it classifies the institution under two headings. One is Tier 1 and Tier 2. In Tier 1, what they do is, they bring out all the top IITs, IIScs, IIITs, NITs, central universities, state universities, private universities, deemed to be universities, autonomous institutions. All this have been brought under Tier 1. Whereas in Tier 2, it's basically non-autonomous institutions. All technical institutions which are non-autonomous, they are basically affiliated to some of the universities. So it all depends whether a college or in a government college, government aided college, private college, if they are planning to go for accreditation process, NBA accreditation process, they go under Tier 2, whereas the universities, basically deemed universities, state universities, central universities, they go with Tier 1. Yes. So what is the accreditation criteria? What is the criteria that has been mentioned? So you can see that the whole process start with preparing a SAR, self-assessment report. So basically, it is same for almost all accreditation process, where the institution should prepare this SAR, self-assessment report, which try to fill up the details for each criteria, and the documents, proofs, evidences, the validations, everything need to be done, and it need to be included, and that need to be uploaded in the online. In fact, the same SAR. This is quite common for almost all accreditation process, irrespective of different agencies. This again, the SAR is to be prepared with facts and introspections. It shouldn't be something like a narrative, and which is not giving which is not giving a quantity information. Means everything need to be quantified rather than more of a narration. So try to fill up this self-assessment report, which is not of more narrative. It should not be a self-promotional. Rather, it should be an introspection and facts with appropriate evidence. So prepare a well-drafted SAR. In this SAR, you have two criteria. One is program level criteria, institution level criteria. So you could see in the under institution level it comes around 3, and program level criteria it comes around 7. So altogether around 10 criteria will be there. Apart from institution information, you will have to fill up all this. So that's what we are interested in. So let's enter into this criteria filling with criteria starting from 5 to 10. That's what. So before that, let's see a couple of terminologies. Though you are familiar with, I'll just quickly refresh those ideas. PEOs, POs, COs. So program educational objective, this broadly, this statement which you define on behalf of the institution or for the program, it speaks about the career and the professional accomplishment that the program is offering in preparing the graduate to achieve. That's what it needs to speak. It needs to speak about the accomplishment that the program should offer in preparing the graduates to achieve it. So that's what we call it as PEOs, program educational objectives. Program outcomes. This is about what this statement should contain, what the graduate will have, what type of skill set will he have, will he or she will be having, the knowledge which they acquire, the attitude which they acquire, the behavior which the student will acquire after completion of that program. So this program outcome is very specific for each and every programs. Course outcome. In a program, you may have some 10 course, 15 course, or even some 20 to 40 courses, right? So these courses, each and every courses, after completion of this course, this can give you the course outcome. Means after completion of this particular course, say for electrical engineering, DC machine, AC machine, power system. So each and every course will have their own course outcome where they get mapped to the program outcome. So each and every course outcome can be mapped to one or more program outcomes. So you may have a list of program outcomes, you may have a list of course outcomes offered by each and every courses. The challenge is you need to make sure that these courses which is being offered try to meet the program outcomes which you would have listed out. And again, the course attainment and program outcome attainment states that to which extent this has attained, say 60%, 70%, 80%, anything greater than that, 60%. If anything less than that appears, then we need to introspect and find out why do this particular skill set is being lacking, what essential steps need to be taken on behalf of that particular course, or on the institution level, how do we improve that? That's what we need to do. So in the assessment, basically identify, collect information, validate the information, evaluate everything. This is a very lengthy process for all assessment. This is a real challenge for the institution where you collect enormous amount of data with respect to each and every criteria, collected with appropriate evidences, validated, properly documented, which that at the end should fit into either POs or program outcomes or the course outcomes. Evaluation is generally done by the team, which will be on-site visit by the team of members. They will go through the interpretation of the data, evidences that has been provided, and based upon that, the accreditation process is being done. Mapping, as I said, the mapping could be one to many, many to many, many to one. All this type of mapping could be there. A course, a single course outcome can map to multiple, program outcomes. Like this, it could be. So always you will be having a mapping. Rubrics. When I say rubrics, it's like a split up or a powerful tool to validate a candidate, evaluate a candidate. Say, for example, I want to measure the skill set of the student for a particular subject. I may have assessment, continuous assessment, 1, 2 assignment, digital assignment, and then I may have quiz. I may have multiple way of assessing that particular skill set, whether he has obtained that or not. So you have certain rubrics to measure and validate. It varies from course to courses, and that's being designed by the course owner of that particular course. So that's what you call it as rubrics for assessment. Mostly this evaluation document involves, so the committee look for outcome of education provided, quality assurance process, their reviews, assessment, entry standard in the sense, how do we intake a student, selection for admission of a student, activities, works of the students, motivation, enthusiasm of the faculty, documents demonstrating all this, then qualification, activity of the faculties, infrastructures, laboratories, libraries, sports, whatnot. You have multiple more things like industry participation, organization. All these documents at the outset, you have a huge amount of documents that need to be prepared and uploaded under different headings. So basically, the NBA committee have a meeting among all these people, head of the institution, then the member of management, faculty members, alumni, students, parents, all the stakeholders will be having a meeting across, and their inputs will be taken up. What are the things which you can exhibit? The list of publication, consultancy sponsored, funded projects, all this you can profile of the faculty. This could be exhibited. The question paper for courses, student record, 3 immediate. Always this looks for the current year -1, current year -2. So 3 years of documents is always being verified by the NBA committee. So make sure that the collection of document is always the current years, and down the line 2 years should be documented. And evidences relevant to CO, PO, all those mappings should be done. Then again, sample student feedbacks. This is one of the important process, which is very keen process. Feedback from different stakeholders, and what is the corrective action that has been taken towards that. So that's how the whole process goes on. Coming to institution specific documentation, generally it speaks about board of general councils, board of members for governance, list of meeting conducted, their action taken, attendance record, minutes that has been service, all this rule books, policies, procedures followed by HRs. These are the documents that need to be maintained, and all those need to be taken care. Budget allocation, auditing statement, website informations, books and journals that's being available, all information relevant to this. Records of safety checks, ambulances, medical care, course files. So these are the list of documents. In fact, a very detailed setup has been given across each and every criteria. I'm just giving the top glimpses of what is being required, what are the documents that is being inspected during inspection. And beyond this, you also have list of additional topics to meet the outcome. Sometimes you may have a deficit of or fallen short of the course outcome, or it could be program outcome. So how do we meet this? What are the extra additional topics that has been included in order to meet the course outcome or the program outcome? Analysis of the feedback, what corrective action that has been taken, all this need to be documented well. Then list of faculty, their qualification, year-wise publication, results, all this again need to have been documented and well filed. With respect to program specific, that those things whatever we discussed earlier are with the institution level. With respect to program specific, it's the department budget, admission of seat filled, and who cleared that 4 years or 3 years, whatever it may be. How many people admitted, how many cleared, average grade point, CGPA, placement records, how many went for placement, how many went for higher studies, professional activities like events, conferences organized, participated, students paper, hard copy of the publication, best projects is student faculty ratio, everything come into picture with respect to these are the documents that need to be maintained with respect to programs. And apart from that, the details relevant to service books like faculty, their services, salary detail, appointment letters, and awards, promotions, letters, certificates. Then list of faculty with their designation, qualification, joining date, publications, R&D works carried out by them, publication along with the DOI, right? A complete list of publications, consultancy work, project completion, proofs of faculty interaction with the outside world. So those things, outdoor activities, then faculty rooms, classrooms, computer facilities, non-teaching facility, non-teaching staffs with their appointment letters, workshops arranged, course modules developed, new program that has been included, everything comes as a record. Above all this course mapping, CO, PO mapping, PEO, vision statement, mission statement of an institution, then course file, course delivery, question paper, answer script, sample answer script, the whole bunch of data need to be kept over. The rubrics for validation, rubrics for validating the CO, PO, improvement of curriculums, and involvement of stakeholder in the process, budget allocation, utilization, everything comes in picture. Right. So coming here, now let's try to, I have given a broad spectrum of what is being expected by the committee. Now we will just look into what is what. So coming to see faculty, I said there are 10 criteria. I believe all the 4 would have been discussed earlier, the first 4. I would like to concentrate on 5 to 10. Coming to criterion 5, faculty information and contribution, this accounts for 200 marks. Coming to 6, that is facility, technical support, this accounts to 80 marks. Continuous improvement, this accounts to 75 marks. Remember, these 3 are with program level criteria. Then with institution level criteria, this first year academic, this constitute criterion 8, this constitute 50 marks. Then criterion 9, student support system, this constitute 50, and this 10, governance, institutional support, and the finance resources, this accounts for 120 marks. In fact, out of this 5 to 10 criteria, you could see criterion 5 has the highest grade, followed by criterion 10. This has 120 marks. Now let's see what that criteria demands at the top level view and what is expected by each and every criteria. The first one is faculty information and contribution. Generally, by seeing this, we might be already aware of what the faculty look for, starting from the course file, their starting from their admission. I mean, the faculty being appointed from that date, starting from his qualification, publication, citations, everything is taken into account, and all are being validated for their accreditation process. So the first point is 5.1, faculty information and contribution. It starts from the faculty name. In fact, this can be prepared by the institution according to their need, like degree, highest degree. So starting from PhD or postgraduate degree, the corresponding universities, year of qualification, association with that institution, what is the designation, date of joining, department, specialization, research papers, how much, PhD guidance, how much it has been given, faculty receiving PhD for that particular year, then the nature of association, all this contribute, right? So faculty information and contribution, it's of 200 marks total. Out of that, the first category is student-faculty ratio. This SFR. This itself will contribute 20 marks out of this 200. Student-faculty ratio, ideally it should be 20. Anything greater than 25 gives 0 marks. So that's what you could see here. So the student-faculty ratio, marks has been listed out. If it is greater than 25, it is 0 mark. Less than or equal to 25, it is 10. Like it keeps on coming up. When it comes to less than or equal to 15, it is 20 marks. So if the SFR is 15 and less than 15, definitely 20 marks can be achieved over here. And regarding the faculty, and always, as I said, this need to be carried out for 3 years. Current academic year -1, current academic year -2. So it need to be always calculated for down the lane 3 years. And with respect to faculty, it gives a norms like minimum 75% of the faculty should be a regular faculty or a full-time faculty. The remaining 25% can be on contract basis. That's the AICTE norms which says regarding the faculty regularization. The contract faculty doing away with the, it comes with different name like visiting faculty, adjunct faculty, whoever it may be, that need to be contributed within this 25%. So while you calculate with the student faculty ratio, make sure that you are taking to account of all this. So there is a specific formula to do that. That is again being listed out in the manual. Again, so this is what, with respect to department wise also, how many faculty, total faculty, with respect to that particular department, how many are there. And one more, there is with respect to faculty cadre, proportion is also there. Like how many professors, how many associate professors, how many assistant professors. They are in the ratio of 1:2:6. So if one professor is there, 2 associate professor need to be there, 6 assistant professor need to be there. So you can even calculate using this formula. Faculty qualification, it's usually being calculated via this formula, that is 2.5 into 10x plus 4y. This x indicate number of people who have completed PhD, y indicate number of people who have completed this ME or MTech, by F total number of faculty available in the ratio as prescribed 1:20 student ratio. So that need to be given here. That will give you the faculty quality. Faculty retention, this is again having 10 marks. Faculty retention is basically how long the faculty stays there, right? Anything, if the retention ratio is 90 or greater than 90, then you will be getting 25 marks, and the remaining thing appropriately reduces. So faculty retention is also a major factor in order to get this marks. Then faculty competencies in correlation with the program specific criteria. Their competencies in the sense, what is their specialization, research, focus, publication, development, course development, lab, new lab development, with respect to which area they are competent enough. That also varies 10 mark. Innovation by the faculty in teaching learning. This again, this terminology innovation, goes with individual faculty rather than the traditional method of chalk and board method. What could be the, or what are the innovation technique followed by the faculty? That carries 10 mark. It could be anything starting from PowerPoint, audio, video, online, all this mechanism. Nowadays, everything become teaching, learning, innovation techniques. Then in the same criteria 5, then faculty participation in FDP, training program, STTP, all this accounts 15 marks. I mean, so this again gives you what should be the mark split up. Minimum 5 days and above, you will be getting 5 points. If it is from 2 to 5, you get 3 points like this. So that's also being aggregated for 3 years, and the average of that need to be taken account. Research and development, it carries 75% of mark out of the 200. Academic research, it carries 20 in the same, in the heading of 5.8, you have academic research 20. And number of quality publications, SCI publications, citation, book chapter, that accounts for 15. Like this, the mark split up goes on. Sponsored project research goes for 20. Again, the mark split up among this, anything greater than 20 lakhs, which will be given 5, and the remaining things goes as it is, which has been laid down by the specifications. Then in the same thing, development activities will be having 15, like product development, research, laboratory development, consultancy from industry. All this accounts for the development activities. Particularly if there is any product which has been developed on behalf of the program, that could also be included over here for the last 3 years. Then 5.9 speaks about faculty performance appraisal, right? So it's for 10 marks, and the development systems. So faculty appraisals starting from membership with the society and remedial coaching classes, all this workshop organized, professional networking. So you have a list of yardsticks or the metrics, key points based on which the performance appraisal, that is 360-degree appraisal, is being done from different spectrum of the stakeholders. 5.9 is for visiting faculty, adjunct faculty, or faculty emeritus. This is having 10 marks. 10. So like how many people are being engaged as a visiting or adjunct, how many hours, how many semesters they have taken, what is the course outcome, all this will be validated across this heading. So with this short view, we have completed that 5. Coming to 6, criterion 6, facilities and technical support. So criteria 6 is having, as I said, 80 marks. So it looks for adequate and well-equipped laboratories and the technical manpower support. So it looks whether these things are there for providing adequate laboratory and technical manpower, whether it is there. It looks for looking for that. Additional facility created for improving the quality of learning and experience in the laboratories. So under this headings, like how many students and what is the name of the laboratory which has been created, name of the important equipments, what are their utilizations, who is the technical staff in that, what is his designation, what is his qualification. So like this, more of technical support and the facilities available need to be documented, and all this under different headings need to be provided. Laboratory maintenance and overall ambience. This also accounts for 10 marks. That is, how is it being maintained, those lab, all those research facilities, and the ambience, general ambience, working ambience, that also, like starting from air conditioned lab, starting all those facilities, right, with fire extinguishers, for telephone facilities, UPS facilities, all this. What are the facilities that has been provided with Wi-Fi connections, internets facility? What are the things that has been provided in the laboratory in order to provide a better ambience for the teaching learning? apart from the lab equipments. All this also been taken into account, and that has been mentioned across this. Then another important thing with respect to criteria 6 is safety measurement in the laboratory. What are the safety measures that has been taken and maintained, right? So that carries 10 mark out of that. Then project that has been done with the usage of equipment in the laboratory, that carries 20 marks. So starting from what are the name of the facilities, softwares, purchase, in charge, qualification, all this accounts. So with this criteria 6 over, criterion 7 is continuous improvements. What should be the continuous improvement? This is again one of the important criteria, as we discussed in the initial discussion. It's not an one-time achievement which the institution aims for. It's a continuous improvement which need to be taken ahead. Like this process keeps on going through a mechanism of improvisation every day and day by day. So which comes up with a new methodology or a process which could improvise the teaching learning process at the bottom. So this speaks about continuous improvement. How do we quantify that? How do we measure that? So that has been measured over here. It carries 75 grades, 75 points. So in this we speak about action taken based upon the results of evaluation of each PO and PSO. PO, some they used to mention that as PO or PSO, program specific outcome or program outcomes. More or less both are the same. So this carries 30 action taken based upon the result of evaluation of the POs and the PSO. So what is being done here is basically you would have listed out all the POs or PSOs. Now you may have in short of the requirement of few. So under that case, you try to find out which are the thing which is in short of 60, which is falling short of 60. How do we improvise that POs or PSOs? That's what need to identify the weakness of the program, finding out a methodology by which you can overcome that weakness. The whole thing need to be, and at last, how to implement that new idea which will improve the PO. After implementing that, what was the attainment of PO that you get after establishing this new process? That also need to be tabulated. The next comes academic audit, action taken thereof during the process of assessment. So continuous academic audit, I believe IQAC you will be having, every institution will have an IQAC, and that goes through the process of academic audit. So in the process of audit, the audit process will highlight where is the shortcoming, what is expected, what is being in deficit. All those would have been narrated there, and that need to be worked on so that those weakness can be overcome. So that need to be documented. In fact, that carries 15 marks. So this speaks about the ISO standard, that the evaluation, the process constituted of internal audit, external audit being conducted for faculties, laboratories, department activities, subject experts, and the head of the departments. Those things will be done with respect to department. Then improvement in the placement, higher studies, and the entrepreneurships. This is more important. This carries 10 marks. So this mainly speaks on what are the facilities that has been provided with respect to placement, higher studies, and entrepreneurships. Then improvement in the quality. All this are speaking about the improvements. Say previously this was the case. After including these facilities, this was the improvement. Improvement in the quality of students admitted to the program, that carries 20 marks. So this speaks about the assessment based on the improvement in terms of rank, scores, qualifying state level, national level. What is the entrance test you keep it, such as to improve the quality of the intake, percentage of marks in physics, chemistry, mathematics or 12th exam. All this metrics would have been taken into consideration for figuring it out to get this 20. Next, we come with criterion 8. This is totally for the first year academics. This speaks about the first year admission and their evaluation of performance, their student faculty ratio. So more with the first year student. So it carries 50 marks. Let's see what are the metrics in which they are being evaluated. The first thing is the first year student faculty ratio, that carries 5 marks, which means again it need to go through the same process with the total people being allocated for first year, right? So it could be considered as a fractional load also. That's what it is saying here. Number of students approved for intake strength, number of faculty members considering the fractional load, you can also consider that. Then first year student faculty ratio, so you can measure this by 5 cross 20 divided by first year student faculty ratio. If it is maximum, it should be limited within 5. So you could see here that has been done, and their marks has been calculated. Very similar to the faculty qualification which we have done earlier in criteria 5. Here also qualification of the teaching faculty for first years. So how could you measure that? 5x plus 3y divided by RF. X indicate the number of PhD faculty, Y indicate PG faculty. This RF regular faculty, total number of regular faculty available under the consideration of 20:1 student faculty ratio. First year academic performance, this is having 10 points. So how do we evaluate the performance of the first year students? So mean of the first year grade point, or it could be mean of the percentage of marks. So all this, you can use any of this metric to find out what is their mean CGPA or mean average, total number of successful candidates, right? Total number of students appeared for the examination, and what is your average academic performance index, right? So based upon that, you will be getting for the last 3 years, this 10 marks will be given. Next, attainment of course outcome for the first years. See, coming to first year, you would have kept a certain program outcomes and the course outcome, and these course outcomes are validated, whether this course outcome are being met, whether he is eligible for moving on to the second year. So if there is a lapse in the course outcome being met, what is the measures taken in order to increase the course outcome? So basically you would have been keeping some continuous assessment test, model exams, assignment, internal assessments, quiz, digital assignments, things like this. So many institutions follow their own way of the rubrics for assessment. So whatever may be the way, after finishing all this, we try to map up with this program course outcomes and see whether at least 60% of the course outcome is being met. If not, we need to think about what should be done. Next, record the course attainment of the course outcome for all the first year courses. So this need to be done for every courses that is being offered for the first year. Their course outcome, course attainment need to be evaluated. And here comes Based upon the course outcome attainment, you can categorize them under level 1, slight, moderate, substantial. Means if the course outcome is 60% of the students scoring more than the set attainment level, then we say that it's good, substantial. But anything less than that will always be a problem, like 50, 40, moderate, slight. We need to come up with some strategies to push that above 60. Then attainment of program outcomes for the first year. So we have seen the course outcome. How or what are the program outcomes that has been prescribed for this? How do we measure that whether that program outcome has been attained? So what are the ways? How do we validate that? What are the metrics? What are the rubrics that need to be followed? So again, those things need to be documented, and the mapping has to be done. Say, suppose you have a couple of courses offered for the first year, and a couple of program outcomes that has been marked for the first year. Not only for the first year, it's for the whole program, and you have designed this will scattering the program outcome, this one, like that. So you need to see that whether the program outcome has been mapped properly and it has been attained. Once you do that, so you come across, you come to know where is the lapse, then automatically this is action taken based upon the result of evaluation of the relevant POs, program outcomes. So if the program outcome is not being met, then you need to come up with some sort of action taken plan. And what is your observation on that? So with this, criterion 8 over, criterion 9 is student support system. So basically it is a 50 grade. It speaks about mentoring system that helps the individual. So you need to have a mentor sort of things like proctoring system, which helps a good relationship with the parent, student, and the mentor, so that the student becomes free enough to discuss the problem and take him in the right direction to achieve his goal. The next is student feedback analysis, rewards, corrective measures that will carry 10. So what are the feedbacks given? The rewards given? What is the corrective action taken towards that? Feedback on facilities. This also need to be carried out separately, which is for 5 marks. You need to come up with certain questionnaires which will be looking for what are the facilities available, what is expected, whether it meets the demand, all those. So the facilities could be with starting from lighting, ventilation, audio, video, quality of the furniture, cleanliness of the classroom, lab, number of computers, availability of softwares, hygiene, washrooms, availability of ample water supplies, quality of drinking water, support and promotions of the sport activities, enough space, and motivation from the institution authorities to participate in other college institution. All this you could frame it as a list of queries to find out their feedback. So once collecting the feedback, you analyze the feedback, come up with the corrective measures. Then we have been provided with 5 points for self-learning. Provide an ambience for self-learning, means providing a very good laboratory, recorded videos of IITs like SWAYAM, NPTEL, all this, opportunities for mini project, doing the mini project at the late class hours, learning and implementation of what they study, adapting some industrial need, in-plant training, acquiring managerial skills. Are we providing environment for all this? That comes under the self-learning. We are supposed to provide all those facilities. That all will be taken into account, and that has been listed for 5 marks. Beyond that, for the student support, we have career guidance, training, placement. It involves all these 3. What are the support provided by the institution for career guidance, training, pre-placement trainings that has been given, or soft skill training that has been provided by HRs, and at last placement activities. What are the placement activities? What are the MOUs being signed with the companies and the recruiters and all this need to be documented, and that is being taken into account. Then entrepreneurship, that carries 5 marks. That's again much more important. Like someone coming up with a new idea, trying to make that as a product. How does this campus uh, uh, appreciate them and make them to come up with a product? Then something on the co-curricular, extracurricular activities. This carries 10 marks. This speaks about technical chapters, associations, sport activities, all this for developing the co-curricular and the curricular activities. Coming to criterion 10, the last one, which speaks on the governance, institution support, and the financial resources. Those, it's mainly for around 120. So organization, governance, transparency. This carries 55. Stating the vision, mission statement, that among this 55, 5 will be for vision and mission statement, and availability of institution strategic planning and the effective implementations, monitoring. This carries 25%, 25 marks. So very clear-cut plans that need to be narrated, like what is the strategic planning that the institution have, how it is being implemented, how are they being monitored, continuously monitored, right? Then governing bodies, administrative status, functions of various bodies, service rules, procedures, recruitment, promotional norms. All this should be very transparent, and it carries 10 marks. So, who are the governing body members? How many meetings it has been done? Whether it has been recorded? What are the recommendations of the governing bodies? All this, with respect to governing bodies, need to be collected. Administrative setups, like starting how it is being done, like starting from principal, head of the department, all those functions of various bodies, like you have different committees being constituted, say like anti-racking committee, um, grievances redressal committees, sexual harassment committees, all these different committees. How many times this committees has met with their minutes of meeting, dates, members who have signed that, what are the recommendations, how many it has been solved. Those documents need to be filled up. Service rules, procedures, norms for promotions, those ideas. Then in the same 10.1.4, decentralization in working grievances redressal mechanism, that carries 5 marks. So delegation of financial powers, this carries 5 marks. So this is again with the board of members to whom the power has been empowered for the financial decisions, all those. Transparencies and availability of correct, unanimous information in the public domain. This represent in the website what are the information that are being available, starting from admission, fees, all those details. So if it is being available in a very transparent in the website for the public, then you will be getting 5 marks. So on the website, it should have the rules and the regulations, eligibility for admission, criteria for admission, on the merit list, rules for reservation, tuition fees, cancellation of admission, refund strategies, rules for NRA, rules for attendance, examination, detention, parents corner, e-content. All this information should be available in the website. Then with respect to budget, you have 15 points like budget allocation, utilization, public accounting at institution level. So a summary of all this for the current years and the next down the line 2 years should have been given with what is the budget allocated for the program, their utilization, and accounting. All this should be done. And 5% mark is being given for adequacy, and 5% mark is for utilization of the allotted fund. Then availability of audited statement in the institution website. If it is there, you will be giving, the institution get 5 points provided. The audited statement is being available in the institute websites. Then with respect to programs, specific budget allocation, utilization, that carries 30. And libraries and the internet facility, that carry 20 marks. Then the quality of learning resources, that is 10. By quality, we mean the central library. The library need to be maintained in central resources. And another one is for each school should have their own library with all the technical books and journals pertaining to that particular schools or that program. That's all. So I'm done with. I believe I would have given a very comprehensive idea about what are the split up among the criteria from 5 to 10. So thanks for joining, and thanks for your patient listening. So I'll be happy to take up questions if you have any.
Thank you, sir, for your effective presentation on this criteria 5 to 10 explanation. Couple of questions we have, sir.
Yeah, please, sir.
Is the adjunct faculty need to be
Yeah.
from industry?
As per my understanding, there is no such criteria. Only thing is faculty qualification is being taken into account.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I also guess that it is not necessarily from industry. You can take some senior faculty or retired senior faculty from institutes.
Correct. Exactly.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. One more question. What are the 4 main criteria when evaluating information resources?
4 main criteria when evaluating information resources. I understand that this is something to do with does it mean for all the criterion? Is it for you are asking for any criteria? What are the evaluating information resources?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah, basically it is like say for example if a board of studies meeting or any sort of department meeting is being conducted, if I want to prove that basically the circular which we would have sent by mail, then the MOM, minutes of meeting which has been conducted, and the discussions, the decisions which has been made, and the implementation of the decision, what is the outcome of that implementation. So I need to have proof for each and every action that is being implemented. Of course we do that, but sometimes we fail to document that at that appropriate time. So it could be a documented one with appropriate sign from the competing authorities, or it could be a audio or video proof, or it could be a photograph which is being taken to illustrate the appropriate timing in which the meeting is being conducted, and the implementation of any proof which speaks about that.
Okay, sir. Thank you. So last question, sir.
Yeah.
How to bridge the gap between industry and institute in present scenario and in new NEP?
Yes. Very good question. Like still we also find very difficult to do that, but somehow we adopt as our VIT, we adopt a couple of technique. Say basically we while I joined at VIT in 2005, this VLSI design was just 2 years old, MTech program. But later on, we made a point that developing interaction with the industry is the main need for any course. So, keeping this in mind, we approached most of the semiconductor industries in Bangalore. And we try to push in to have some sort of interaction starting from the tool discussion with the people from different semiconductor industries, how to collaborate with them. Once we start doing that, then we understand what is their need, and they also come to understand what is our capability. Then we start collaborating in terms of internship, providing students every year for internship. This becomes a very huge demand. Like after completing the third semester, the students go for 9-month project with the paid internship, somewhere around 35,000. Later on, they get around 85% to 90% of internship being converted to employee. What happens then? We come to understand that this is very good in developing a rapport with the industry. We understand and we speak with them regularly, going to their own premises. Every year we have this mechanism, but unfortunately for the last 1 year we couldn't do that. We go to that company, a group of faculty we go there, we spend 1 or 2 days there in Bangalore, starting from Intel, topmost company, Intel, IBM, all the semiconductor companies, where our students go and do their internship. We speak with their mentors, find out is there any gap with the teaching learning process, what is their requirement, and we try to incorporate that with the curriculum. So we understand their needs, and we find out is there any possibility of collaborating with them with respect to conference or with respect to manpower, whatever it may be, or with respect to researchers, facilities. I think this will narrow down the gap between the industry and the academia, even in the new education policies which has been formulated. Such sort of mechanism, a continuous interaction with the industries, that alone I think will reduce the gap, will make us to understand their need and make them to understand our capability.
Okay. So thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Would you
Thank
like
you.
to
Thank
pass
you.
any concluding remarks, sir?
I think it's thanks, only Thanksgiving note. I would like to thank Professor Kerur for providing such a wonderful opportunity to meet you all via this online forum. Really, it was my pleasure joining with you, all of you. Um, like great, it was a great experience sharing my thoughts on this domain, though I am a starter at this level. Thank you once again for the management and the organizers for doing such a wonderful job in spite of this pandemic situation. I could see the faculty strength classes 50. Really, it's a good sign of interaction. Thank you for providing such a wonderful opportunity.
Okay. Thank you
Thank you
very.
all.
So thank you very much, sir, for accepting our invitation and sharing your knowledge and thoughts with respect to NBA criteria 5 to 10. So it was a wonderful session, and participants have interacted with you. Thanks a lot once
Thank you.
again. So, dear participants, that is the end of session 1 of day 5. Now we'll reassemble at 11:15 a.m. exactly. The next section will be presented by Dr. Prasad Krishna sir. Is going to speak on the role of research in academic in accreditation process. Uh, Already, sir has given one talk in the last Saturday itself. So one more talk will be has been arranged at 11:15 a.m. So I request all of you assemble at least 5 minutes early. So thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. I am leaving.